Emily R.
Emily, so what brings you in today?
Well, actually, I'm looking for a little bit of help. I've been, well, not to jump right into things, but I've been using marijuana for several years, and it started socially, but now I'm kind of using it very regularly throughout the day.
Okay.
And, my friends, a lot of them are drug users and marijuana users in particular. That's their drug of choice. And a lot of them have been pressuring me to take other drugs, harder drugs that I don't necessarily feel comfortable with. But I have tried, a few things. Like I've done mushrooms before, and I've tried cocaine once or twice. But I'm worried because I think it's starting to become a problem, and I think it's starting to get in the way of my life. And I'm a college student, so my studies are really important.
Okay. So how often do you say you smoke?
Oh gosh, probably at least 5 times a day.
Okay.
I mean, I smoke when I get up, I smoke before I go to class, I smoke when I get home from class, just pretty much any opportunity I get. I mean, I'm a pretty anxious person, and when I smoke, it just tends to, mellow me out.
Okay.
So that's kind of why, I thrive on it.
Okay. So are you thinking that you want to stop completely, or are we worried more about going into some of the harder drugs, or what are your concerns?
Well, I mean, obviously I'm concerned about, my social group, because I feel like I am, I'm friends with these people, and I like to do what they're doing.
Right.
And, I mean, it seems like I've noticed that people who use any kind of drugs just tend to sort of gravitate towards each other, and then it seems like you're surrounded by this circle of friends that are, all drug users. And, I mean, when I first started smoking, it wasn't really affecting my life in any way, I mean, I felt like, oh, yeah, I just use it to mellow out every once in a while. But now I'm just I feel like I'm not focusing on my school the way I should, and I've seen my grades go down. So, I mean, yeah, I'm worried about using harder drugs, but I'm more worried about how, my social environment has now come to just revolve around drugs.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you definitely have a good head on your shoulders and are wanting to make these changes in your life. And it sounds like, your school's what's important to you, and that, you don't necessarily want to lose all the ties with your friends, but that definitely there needs to be some changes made. So that's great. I commend you on taking the first step.
Thank you.
So kind of how we work here is you'll have 10 sessions. You'll meet with me one-on-one, and we'll kind of work through a plan of action of things that you want to work on. And we'll kind of just go from there, take it step by step.
Okay.
So let's talk about something that we could start working on, a baby step. What's the first thing that you want to work on, that you see yourself?
Well, I think I definitely, eventually I would say my goal is to just not be smoking marijuana at all.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I know it has bad health effects and everything, but it's just become such a part of my life that when I think about giving it up, I'm just well, it's just I'm going to miss that part of my life. It's just going to alter my whole life if I give it up. So, I mean, yeah, I want to work on not smoking anymore.
Okay. So why don't we try, instead of smoking 5 times a day, say you smoke about 5 times a day, why don't we cut that in half? Can you work on maybe just smoking about 2 to 3 times a day? Do you think that that's realistic?
Yeah, I think it's realistic. I mean, yeah, I think it's totally realistic, because when I first started smoking, I mean, I would only smoke at nighttime.
Okay.
I would just smoke at night to chill out, and then I just sort of slowly started smoking more and more.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think, yeah, I should definitely, I would say I'll try to cut smoking out before, classes.
Okay,
or
that's
things
great.
like that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think some of the reasons why you do smoke?
Well, like I said, I tend to be a very anxious person.
Okay.
And, I mean, in the past, I have been on, some anti-anxiety drugs and things like that. And what happened was I just, they weren't working for me. I didn't feel like they were really working for me. And then when I discovered marijuana, I was like, wow, this really works for me. And so I just kind of went off the anti-anxiety drugs and just became dependent on that.
Okay.
And then as I became dependent on that, it turned into a lifestyle. Like I said, like I started smoking with a smoker group, and then I abandoned sort of my other outside friends, and then this drug culture group kind of became my best friends.
Okay. So do you have a primary doctor that you see? Just for colds and...
Not really.
Not really? So maybe that could be something we work on, because you say you've been on anti-anxieties before. Maybe that's something that if you get back on an anti-anxiety, that it might help. You know, if you're back on an anti-anxiety, you won't need the marijuana as much. So maybe that could be something. Do you have insurance?
Yeah, I do have an insurance plan.
So you can call your insurance company and see what doctors are covered under your insurance plan. Maybe make an appointment with your primary doctor and tell them about your anxiety problems and see if they want to get you back on anxiety medicine.
Okay.
That might be a great place to start. But it definitely sounds like you have a good head on your shoulders, and just take baby steps, just, one step at a time.
I mean, I guess, I feel like my strengths lie, in my friends, I mean, most people, I guess.
Right.
And I guess what I'm most worried about is just, peer pressure and feeling what am I going to have to abandon the friends that I have now to change my lifestyle? I mean, do you have any tips for me, what I should do if I ever feel, just, overwhelmed by, peer pressure?
Mm-hmm. Do you have a support group other than, are you close to your family? Are all of your friends pretty much in that?
Yeah, my closest friends.
Okay, so what are you interested in? Do you have any hobbies? Is there anything that you're passionate about? I have several hobbies, but, I'm a student, so I'm busy. Right.
But I really like to scrapbook.
Okay.
And I really like to crochet a lot.
Okay.
So those are some of my hobbies.
Maybe look for some clubs on campus. I know some of the scrapbooking stores in town have Saturdays where everybody gets together and scrapbooks. But maybe reach out to campus and find some things that you're interested in, and join some new clubs and new activities. And then that way you would meet some new people. You don't necessarily have to get rid of your old crowd, your old friends right away, but then you would be doing something that you enjoy doing and meeting new people in the process.
Yeah, that would be a good distraction. I never really thought of that before. Yeah.
Well, it's just something to think about. I mean, there's so much out there, such a big college, that there's a lot of stuff to...
Yeah, I guess I kind of have, some social anxiety, and that's part of, like I said, I have general anxiety, but I do have some social anxiety when it comes to just, being alone, you know what I mean? And just, meeting new people and just being the new person.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so that's a challenge for me, but I will definitely try, to find a group and see if I can be a friend.
Yeah, and if you're doing something that you really enjoy, then you may not have as much anxiety because it's something that you naturally enjoy doing. So you'll be with people who are enjoying the same thing you are.
Yeah.
So for next time, what are the things we're going to work on?
I'm going to work on not smoking before classes.
Okay.
And I'm definitely going to look into some sort of group that caters to my interests, and I'm going to try to go to one of their meetings.
That sounds like a great plan. Just take baby steps. I think you don't have to change your life overnight, but I think that's great. Just cut down, as much as you smoke, and look for something that you really enjoy doing, because after all, it's about you. So, okay, well, it was really nice meeting you,
Emily. Really nice meeting you,
and
too.
I will see you this time next week. Okay?
Sounds great. Thank you so much,
Thank
Megan.
you.